back everyone to my Let's Play of Dragon Warrior 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Last episode, Prince Hermes warped around the entire continent, just getting information, and now it's time to act on that information. He was told that there is a crest, apparently in Castle Osterfair, that is south of Midenhall, so it's time to hop in the boat and ride over there. There's a warp that gets to Castle Osterfair, but we don't have access to that warp right now, so we're gonna have to use the old method of sailing. But luckily, it's not too far of a trip, and the game developers, I guess, knew that you'd be doing a lot of sailing, so water has the lowest encounter rate of all terrain, so just head immediately east from Tantagel Castle, and we're gonna run into that strip of land to the southwest of Cannock. So there's that shrine that we went through across to get to Hamlin earlier. It's kind of like this game's swamp tunnel, where it separates two main bodies of land from water. So then we just hug the coastline, and eventually this will take us toward Midenhall Castle, Prince Hermes' home. And then from there we're just going to head south, and there's quite a few things that will pass along the way that will be of interest later on in the game. So here we are, we're near Midenhall, and we just head south, and like I said, that'll take us directly to Castle Osterfair. Now there's a shrine over there, that is the Shrine of Rubus. We'll learn more about that later, but we heard a little bit about Rubus. Rubus is apparently a spirit, a good spirit, and it can do something with the 5 crests once we find them, so apparently Rubus will allow us to see through deceptions that Hargon put on his castle to make it really peaceful. And hey, we had a new enemy there, and we got a new piece of equipment, the Iron Helmet, so it's a decent piece of equipment, not necessary, that's why I didn't buy it earlier, because we're going to get another helmet shortly, Erdrick's helmet, so which is a much better piece of headgear. So, Gargoyle has a 12.5% chance to drop that helmet though, so just kind of a good odds based on Dragon Warrior. So here we are, we're in Osterfair. We have to sail up that little little river there to the lake to get to the castle. And inside here we'll find another crest and a lot of other items, but not on this trip. Beyond lies the Colosseum and the King. Here in this Colosseum, many heroes have proven their strength. So thou art great wars of which we have heard. Now welcome in my castle of Osterfair. If thou entertain me, thou shalt receive my prize. Does thou wish to try? And if we say no, well, it'll give us another opportunity later. Let's just talk with the people in the town first. From the castle. As the story goes, it was a dark and stormy night when the pirate ship Relentless hit a reef and sank. They say that its cargo held the echoing flute. The echoing flute blows a magical flute on an island, in a tower, in a chamber remote. Play it and listen, a wise man once wrote. Well, we got the one in the island, because that's basically the shrine, the fire shrine. That's where we got the sun crest. The tower will be a tower to the south of Tantagel Castle, which is why we wanted to keep our save point there, because we'll be going to that tower. In the other town of Zahon is the Southern Ocean. There's a man named Torvel and a golden key. And the remote place is a cell in Hamlin. I seek the armor of Guy. I was told that someone who has armor has it, so. Speaking of armor, we want to buy the magic armor for Prince Orfeo. That cuts down magic damage by 1/4, so that'll help him with the survivability. It's also technically, I guess, the best armor that you can get for the prince that has no drawbacks. There's a glitch that you can get. There's a flying water cloth, which has better defense and reduces magic and breath damage by half. But normally you can only get one of them. You can use a glitch to get two, and then you would give one to the prince and one to the princess. But if you're not doing if you're doing like glitchless, then the magic armor is probably the best thing you can get because of that magic reduction by a fourth. There's a fur coat that has 5 more defense, but that fur coat it doesn't reduce the magic by a fourth. So, and spells are going to be very common attack later on from some enemies. So the magic armor is better. There's also a gremlin's armor, which is twice the defensive power of the magic armor, but it's a cursed item, so 25% chance that you lose your turn and you don't have that magic resistance. So here we said we're going to entertain the king, and we fight this saber lion, the upgraded saber tiger. Not too hard. You can hit it pretty easily with the surround spell. So pretty much hit it with the surround spell, and then just wail away on it. So yeah, it resists sleep, so don't bother trying to cast sleep. If you want to try to defeat it a little quicker, you can use the defense spell that Alyssa has to lower its defense, but not necessary. It'll fall within like 3 turns normally. So, and we defeated the saber lion, and because we've entertained the king, he is going to give us a second crest, the moon crest. And he reminds us to go fight gallantly. Now, once we have the gold key, we can come back here through a warp, and we can get some other good equipment. But we gotta get the gold key. Based on what that fortune teller told us, and what that guy in the prison told us, we need to head south, and apparently look for a guy named Torval, who had the golden key. So we have a degraded gargoyle here, the Hawkman, a little easier than the gargoyle, and then we have an upgraded smoke enemy, the gas. Sleep can be effective against the Hawkman, but the gas is immune to sleep and also the stop spell. So just hammer away on them. So there's the stats there. Yeah, I think maybe you try to cast stop spell on it, because it does cast its own spells on you, sleep, stop spell, and surround. But I guess they wanted to make the enemy difficult. It totally blocks your stop spell. So just hit them with your swords and your spears, and they'll fall easily. Okay. Now we're going to just hop back in our boat. And like I said, we'll be back here later once we get the golden key. We're going to get those 2 treasure chests that were in that shopkeeper's area. Someone said an armorer had, someone who sells armor and weapons has the armor of Gaia. Yeah, well, spoiler, it's that guy right there. And we will be getting that equipment. So, the armor of Gaia is basically the next to the best armor that Prince Hermes can equip. It doesn't have any special properties, it just has really good high defensive power. So, that'll last us until we end up getting Odric's armor, which we won't find until very late in the game. So there's the Leaf of the World Tree. We were told about that one earlier. And then from the island with Leaf of the World Tree, just go south until you can only see the mountains, and then start heading right from there. And eventually you will end up running into the island of Zahan. We saw this island earlier when we first warped through that shrine, but it just put us on that little small thing. So this really talks about a moon fragment. We'll learn more about that later. Many of the tales of a mountainous island in the sea and its great cavern. He said that was a woman to find the Eye of Malroth. This guy wants to be a fisherman like his dad. He came to his own at a poor time. All the men are away at sea fishing. Oh, Formio, what the Formio? I warn thee not to go back. This wizard has maybe thy boon. Yeah, we don't want to go in there because we don't have the Step guard spell. This is a town of lonely men, old men, of lonely women, old men, dogs, and children. So thou hast heard of the singing of the relentless. Some say that the pirates simply left the plug out. Fools. Yeah, they'll just take off 20 hit points every step. That mutt yonder there keeps pulling at my sleeve. That is Torval's dog. We learned that Torval likes his dog more than people, apparently. And the dog likes us because it pointed us in the direction of the golden key. We're gonna have to come back here when we have that step guard spell and the jailer's key. If you got a quick glimpse up there, there was there's 2 jail doors. So we're gonna have to come back here and get the treasure behind those doors later on. First, we gotta get that jail key. But before we do that, we should start hopping around. Now that we got the golden key, there's a lot of doors that we can open and a lot of good treasure that'll make us much more powerful. I mentioned there's the lighthouse south of Tantagel, where we're going to get another crest. The enemies are basically the same as, there's a few more new ones, but most of the enemies there are the same as in the Dragon Lord's area, so. This lady talks about the Eye of Mailoth that we told was in the sea. The Eye of Mailoth sees which is not readily apparent, used in the swamp of the Hidden Valley, and perhaps that will find a way to roam. Alright, so we have to keep the Eye of Mailoth in our back of our minds. But anyway, yeah, you could basically go to that lighthouse to try to get the crest now. But the lighthouse, even though the enemies are enemies that we can handle, the lighthouse is a really, really long dungeon. It's going to take 2 trips to go through, even with the better equipment that we have. So I figured it's much easier to just go out, get some better equipment to increase our survivability in that tower, because it's so long. So just cast the repel spell that the princess learned. Like the first game, it just keeps enemies who have lower hit points away from you from attacking you, so. And we're going to come back here because this is one of the first places we saw that had the gold key door. And I think Orfeo must have the key because it ain't in, nope, the princess has it. As soon as we find the key, we'll eventually give it to Hermes. We know where the key is now, so let's open that door and we will go grab all that treasure. And one of the treasures is really, really important. We got the Stones of Sunlight in the first in the castle in the first game. Thief, thief, what? Thou art Hermes, heir of Midenhall, please forgive me. In this game, we're going to get something else related to Erdrick. We're going to get Erdrick's token. And so we can warp back to Tantagel and go to the south, that shrine, south of Tantagel. Because there's that one wizard there who was saying, hey, you know, if you were a true descendant of Erdrick, you would have, you know, his token. So we'll be able to get this token and we can trade it for something. In this case, it'll be Erdrick's helmet. So that's why I think that important that we got that iron helmet that dropped from the gargoyle, because we're getting a helmet here real quickly anyway. So. And the enemies that we encountered between, you know, the only tough one we got was that saber line, and the 6 defensive points that that helmet gives us isn't that, you know, wouldn't that be important? It didn't like make that fight go from impossible to possible. So just give us some thing here. We need some inventory space. Gonna sell just some stuff. Like I said, gets that inventory space. Don't have too much to sell. I'm gonna sell the full plate here because we're about to warp to We're about to warp back to Castle Osterfair and grab that armor. So Orfeo doesn't need any armor right now because we're not gonna get into any fights in the meantime, because all we're doing is we're casting repel and heading down to this shrine south of Midenhall. When we went here last time, the guy told us about the keys, and we saw there was a gold key door here. We're going to want to use that gold key door, because this will take us to a warp that takes us to Osterfair Castle. Basically puts us right behind that shop. So even if you didn't cast Repel, those the enemies are really, really weak. So here, we're right behind the shop. You have to use the gold key again. That's why we couldn't do this earlier, because we lacked the gold key in both places. And we open the top one, and we discover the Armor of Gaia. It feels so weird that you're just like taking the treasure and the guy's right there, but So we got a magic knife too. That's a weapon you can give to the princess, but she has such poor strength that it's better for her to just keep using the fire, the wizard's wand, to cast the free fireball spell. It'll end up doing more damage than the knife will probably do. So, if you talk with the king now, after you've entertained him by defeating the Saberline, he will save your game here. But like I said, we don't want to have our game saved here, because we want to jump back to Tantagel, because we have a lot of business in that area. So, we're going to be making those trips to the lighthouse to the south, and getting that helmet from the magic shrine to the south. We'll also get some new information here. This is a sewing shop too, but I do not have the Doujon. Does Nav seek the Doujon too? Yes, it doesn't have no, but she knows where to find some. For it is a substance made of wind and water, and it drifts aloft until it lands on the 3rd floor of the North Dragon's Horn. So we're going to have to head back to the Dragon's Horn to look for the Doujon. But let's talk with the king here, who was hiding in the inn. What does he have to tell us? So thou hast come even here to this simple room. I cannot help thee, my hope has fled long ago. Alright. Make some inventory space, because we got to, whatchamacallit, gotta need a space for that, Doujon that we're gonna pick up soon. So, we can get rid of that iron helmet. That's a good bit of money there that we got. Because the next few purchases we're going to have to make are going to be very, very expensive. We have to buy those Shield of Strength for the Princess and the Prince, for Orfeo and Olyssa. And then we got to buy a new sword eventually then for Prince Hermes. So, yeah, money's going to be pretty tight coming up, so... The Leaf of the World Tree, we can only grab one of them at a time. So if you use your Leaf of the World Tree, just head back to that island and you can grab a new one. But you can only have one in your inventory at a time, so... Not that we have much room for more than one in our inventory. The inventory gets really crowded, so it would be nice when the princess knows that open spell, we can just dump all our keys then. And that'll free up, right now we'll free up 2 inventories, but at the end of the game we'll have free up 3. Because we'll also have the jail key in addition to the silver and the gold. So let's head to this shrine here. And we can trade our Erdrix token for the helmet. And that'll go right on Prince Hermes. And what's also good about this shrine is it has a whole bunch of warps. And one of those warps, if you remember from the last episode, is will take us right to the tower to the northwest of Liamport, which is to the northeast of the Dragonhorn, the North Dragonhorn Tower. So we have a quick way to get to the North Dragonhorn to pick up that the Doujon. So that's what we'll be doing in our next episode. Take care. Hope to see you then. Bye.